Alright, so we're getting closer to sorting the box. Well, we just took the colors out that were kind of sorted, so we don't have too many blue ones left, right? We didn't have too many blue ones. It was mostly white in that box. We had a little bit of black, a little bit of red, and a bit more of green. So now there's a whole bunch of multicolored too. I don't think we're gonna deal with the multicolored ones, right? Those are way too complicated. Then it forces you to have two colors. Well, no, we could look at them. I don't know. We won't make too many sorting episodes, right? It's just going through commons of cards. So, Artful Dodge, we were looking at this one and we took the other card that was similar to it too. Artful Dodge for 1 mana. Target creature is unblockable this turn. Then you could flashback it. So, you may cast this from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. So, you could pay the mana again to make two creatures unblockable. So, it's exactly the same as this card, Ghost Form. So there's two different versions of it, right? Up to two target creatures are unblockable. So you could divide it up between two turns, or you could just use it on one turn for the same amount of mana. Both sorceries. So the cards, they're kind of similar. They're just different power levels for different mana costs. Chant of the Skisfang 3. Enchant creature gets minus 13, minus 0. So that just destroys any creature, basically. Any creature on the field that they have that's a threat. You just put that on it, and then all of a sudden it's not a threat. So minus 13 is a lot. So then divinations. We got lots of divinations. Griptide. So put target creature on top of its library. So is that one better than the other one? The other one was like a 5 mana, wasn't it? Griptide. Because we had that other PO from reality or something. We're trying to find the similar ones. Eventually, we're not going to record everything going through them, but we'll figure out everything. This card, totally lost. So they're both instant spells. Totally lost costs 5 mana. This one costs 4 mana. Riptide instant. Put target creature. Okay, target non-land permanent on top of its library. So you could put anything on top of their library. Or this one, it's limited to a creature. Alright, so they are similar. They're cost different, but they do the same thing, kind of. This one, you're limited to a creature. This one, you could put any non-land permanent. Cool. So those ones are the same, kind of. Had this Gabe 2/3 Zombie Warrior as an additional cast to cost him. Exile a creature card from your graveyard. Had this Gab enters the battlefield tap. So it's like that Flying Drake for 3 mana. So you could have the Flying Drake, or you could have him. Because you exile yeah, they both exile one creature card. So really powerful creatures for 3 mana for zombies. And he's a warrior. Fairy Soldier, Flying Flash, 2/3. So he's really good. Fairy Soldier. Oh, he's a soldier too, right? So if you make a white and blue soldier deck, you'd want a Flash Flying Soldier. Super sick. And then the Merfolk Soldier. So we got a 4/5 mana Island Walk. When he Diver comes into play, look at the top 4 cards of your library, then put them back into any order. So it's kind of like that bird we've seen before for 2 mana. This one's 5 mana, but it's a Merfolk, and it's a soldier, and it has Island Walk. So if you turn their lands to islands, and it's a soldier, and it's a Merfolk, so it gives you lets you look at the top cards. You may tap or untap target creature. Okay, Merfolk Wizard, 2 mana, 1/2. I don't know if that would really come in too handy. Can you oh, it says tap or untap. Oh, okay, so you could untap a creature to use its abilities multiple times. Maybe it's a good one. Glimmer Disnat, 3 mana, Enchant Aura. Enchant tapped creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. So this is basically like the pacifism, kind of like it, so he can never untap. Enchant, so as long as he's tapped. Protective Bubble, 3/4 mana. Enchant creature is unblockable and has Shroud. Sounds really good. It's an enchantment. You cannot be blocked, and it has Shroud, so it can't be the target of spells or abilities. So it'd always be unblockable, and they can't do anything about it. Yeah, it would just be instantly can't do anything. Clash with an opponent, then return target creature to its owner's hand. If you win, you may put that creature on top of its owner's library instead. Okay, so you could return a creature to its hand or on top of its library. For instant, each clashing player reveals the top card of the library, then puts that card on top of the or the bottom. A player wins if his or her card had a higher converted mana cost. Okay, so you need to have a high mana cost for this one to be. Doesn't really seem. I mean, it's way too complicated for what it does. Only creatures. Yes, only creatures. Changeling target creature becomes a 4/4 and gains flying and is all creature types until end of turn. Tribal instant 2 mana. So you turn something to a 4/4 and then it gains the up benefits. So if it was normally a 1/1 or a 2/2, it gains all creature types and then flying. So that's probably, well, yeah, it's maybe better than the Mighty Leap for the white spell. Aquatic's well. Put a flood counter on target land. That land is an island in addition to its other types as long as it has a flood counter on it. If you control a merfolk, draw a card. So you could turn a land to an island. Oh, in addition to its other lands. Okay. So you could play green, and then you could make it both of them. And then you just draw a card, I guess. So you don't really lose a card if you're playing Merfolk. Okay, yeah, I think that one was different. We didn't see this one yet. It just looks similar because of the clash. So 2 mana flying fiery wizard. When he is put into a graveyard for play, clash with an opponent. If you win, return him to your hand. So he has a chance of coming back. Changeling. Target creature gains all creature types until end of turn. Target creature loses all creature types until end of turn. Oh, okay, so that'd be really good because if someone's playing a sliver deck or something, and then it would not be a sliver. Yeah, if they're playing a soldier deck and they're attacking with something that's beefed up because it's a soldier, it's not a soldier anymore. It's only 2 mana to play him. And this soldier is every creature type at every time, so he's a soldier himself or whatever. He's a wizard. He's a goblin spirit flying whenever he deals combat damage. He puts 2 cards. I think we've seen that one. This one, yeah, you exile cards and then he comes on. Then flying flash, he's good. So we're gonna start Bone to Ash is probably really good. Counter a spell, draw a card. Oh, there's a new one. Moon Heron, flying spirit bird, 3/2 for 4 mana. So I don't think it really does too much, right? He doesn't do anything except for a 3/2 flyer. So there's probably better spirits. Giant creature gets -3, -0. So the other one did a -13, but I think it cost 3 mana. Yes, this one, 3 mana. So there's 2 different things with different power levels. They do the same thing again. -13, -0. -3, -0. Costs 2 more mana to do it. I think I'd rather go with the other one. So Zombie Drake, Armored Scab. Alright, here's the one. When he enters the battlefield, put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. So if you're playing a mill deck and you want to mill yourself, it'd be really good for summoning the zombies, right? Because you have to exile a card from your graveyard to summon him. Same with him, it says exile a card. So if you mill yourself and you put 4 cards in the graveyard, you probably already have a creature in the graveyard. And flying. This rogue, whenever he or another creature dies, target player puts. Okay, so we've seen him. Hysterical Blindness. Creatures your opponents get -4, -0. So we've seen him. Makeshift Mauler, 4 mana. Creature Zombie Horror as an additional cost to cast him. Exile a creature card from your graveyard. So you just exile that 1 creature card. So there's 3 different ones then. So is he better? Well, he's 1 more mana, and then he has 1 more health. This guy just enters the battlefield tapped. Always a horror, so he can't go in warrior decks. Counter target spell, he cannot draw a card. Puts top 2 cards. We've seen use the spirit. The Stormbound Geist, absolutely insane. Bone Artful Dodge, really good. Bone Ash, Divination, it's alright, but there's so many. Murmuring Phantasm, a Defender with 0/5 Spirit, 2 mana, so we defend everything. Mind Static, counter target spell unless its controller pays 6. So for 4 mana, you'd rather want to draw a card or something. Yeah, you'd rather want to draw a card. That's really bad counterspell. It was just another duplicate. And we got the Maze Glider, flying. Multicolored creatures you control have flying. Oh, multicolored creatures you control have flying. So he's 6 mana to bring him out for a 3/5. All your creatures gain flying. You could just do the enchantment, or is that enchantment not a common? Sacramite Mirror. So Sacramite Mirror gains flying until the end of turn. Sacrifice him. You can draw a card. Okay, so you can pay the mana cost. So he can be a 2/1 flyer for 3 mana. A Mire. I don't know if he's too great. Logic Knock is something great though, right? This card is amazing. 12. You may remove any number of cards in your graveyard from the game as you play this spell. It costs 1 less to pay for each card removed this way. Counter target spell unless its controller pays X. So it would cost 2 mana, I guess. Then you just 12 to... Well, yeah, the more mana you pay, the more it would... I guess there is better counter spells. I guess Logic now is not too great. It's just because it's a full art card. Check to the ski thing. Here we go. Breakwater Elemental. When he attacks or blocks, sacrifice it. So that doesn't seem good at all. Unearth. Return this card from your graveyard to play. It gains haste. Remove it from the game at the end of turn. Or if it would leave play, remove it from the game. Oh, okay. Return this card to play. Unearth. So for 3 mana, he'd get a 1 attack, and then he could come back and attack again. And then he'd be gone forever. So he's an elemental. So he's probably not too good. Probably kills himself after the second turn. You Screeching Scab. When he enters the battlefield, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. So there's another self-milling card to go with the other self-milling card. Stormbound Ghastly Bird. Saving Grasp. Return target creature you own to your hand. Flashback. Saving Grasp, 1 mana. Return target creature you own to your hand. Oh, that's a really good, because you could play a creature that does something, and then you return him to your hand, and then you play him again, and then he does something again. And then you flashback, and then you return to your hand, and he does something for a 3rd time. So, really good card then. Screeching Scabs. We're going to be able to come up with some super sick ones. We have some really good blue cards and some good white cards. Ice Cage, we've seen that. The Owl. So here's the Owl that lets you look at 4 cards for 2 mana. He's just a 1/1 flyer. And then the Fairy that's a 1/1 flyer for 1 mana. So he's really good because he can just destroy everybody even though he's a 1/1. Flood Chaser, 6 mana. Flood Chaser comes into play with 6 counters on it. Can attack unless a defending player controls an island. So you could force them to be an island anyways. Remove a +1 counter from him. Target land becomes an island. Oh, and he turns stuff into islands himself. Wow, interesting. Comes to play with 6 counters on him. Okay, so he can't attack, but you could, so he'd just be a 6/6 that can turn a land into an island until end of turn. Remove a +1, so you could do that as many times as you want. So I'm not too sure. There's probably better, because he's an elemental. Merfolk Rogue, when he comes into play, target player puts the top card of the library into their graveyard. So Merfolk does that. That doesn't seem too good. Stream of Unconsciousness, target player gets target creature gets -4. If you control a wizard, draw a card. So this one would have to go in a wizard deck. I don't know how that would help. Maybe it would, because the wizards can maybe kill things or something. Counter target spell, draw cards, you. And we're just about done with the blue cards, and then the black cards. Artful Dodge, Griptide, target creature. You've probably seen all these then. So there's the blue cards, now the black cards. Alright, so we'll try to get a bunch of the black cards done. So some of them are already sleeved up. So the Gravedigger. When he enters the battlefield, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So he's really good. He keeps bringing creatures back. And then he could bring himself back, right? When he enters the battlefield, return himself from the graveyard. Yeah, so these guys could just keep playing forever, returning themselves to the graveyard. Windgrace Acolyte 4/5. Flying. When it enters the battlefield, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard, and you gain 3 life. So he self-mails you. This is a uncommon card. We don't want uncommon cards. We want common cards. Marrow Bone R. Merfolk Rogue. Target player removes a card from his or graveyard from the game. Whenever you play a black spell, you may untap him. So he seems 100% useless, right? If you just use that 1 artifact card, target player removes a card, you can remove all of his cards, so he's garbage. Wither 4/2 Elemental Warrior, so maybe a warrior for a black deck with Wither. He deals the damage in -1/-1 counters, so he has 2 health. You'd have to do something, but maybe elementals or warriors get boosted. What is the elemental thing? Destroy target non-green creature. Its controller loses 3 life. If you played another black spell this turn, target non-green creature, because usually it would say non-black creature. His controller loses 3 life if you played another black spell, so I don't know, maybe that's useless. Trelly's Bane. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. Choose a green or white creature card from it. You gain life equal to its creature card's toughness. Then that player discards that card. Choose a green or white creature card. So it'd have to be a sideboard sorcery. You gain life equal to his toughness. Then that discards it. So be a good discard card. And the Lock of Corrigan creature spirit, he gains a +1/+1 till end of turn for every single mana you put in. He starts with a 1/1 spirit for 4 mana, so I'm not too sure. He could become sick, but there's probably better things. Sickle Ripper, 2 mana. Wither deals -1/-1 counters. Whenever a player plays a black spell, you may pay 1. If you do, target player loses 1 life. Oh, okay, so whenever you play a black spell, you can pay 1 more mana, and then target player loses a life. There's probably Extort is probably better, right? So yeah, if you do, target player loses 1 life and then you gain 1 life, so Extort's better than him, so he's outdated. Splitting Headache 3/4. Whenever target player discards 2 cards or target player reveals his or her hand, you choose a card from it, then that player discards that card. So you can make him discard 2 cards, so it's like the Mind Rot for 1 more, or he reveals his or her hand, you choose a card from it. Oh, you choose any card, so it could be absolutely any card. Enchant creature, put a -1/-1 on enchanted creature, so you can just keep putting -1/-1 on him, but oh, okay, yeah, because whenever you put -1/-1 counters on something, then other things trigger off of it. Return target creature card in a graveyard to its owner's hand. Conspire, so you could use creatures to pay for this cost, I believe, right? Oh, it copies it. Okay. As you play this spell, you may tap 2 untapped creatures you control that share a color with it, so 2 black creatures. When you do copy it, then you may choose a new target for the copy. Okay. Can you conspire multiple times? Return target creatures. So you could return multiple creatures if you tap creatures. And then you copy it. Maybe you could just do it twice, but there's a better one that you just pay for for 3 mana, and it just says to return 2 creatures to your hand. You don't have to do anything, so sorcery, so he's probably not too good. Gloomlance for 5 mana. Destroy target creature. If that creature has green or white, its controller discards a card. Okay, so it has 5 mana. Sorcery. Terrible. So effectively wastes 1 mana. Target creature becomes black and gains fear until the end of turn. Draw a card. So he'd be unblockable, basically. Target creature becomes black and gains fear. Draw a card. Should be looking for something that does something. This thing was useless, right? Ashimar Cohort, Elemental Warrior. He comes with a +1/+1 as long as you control another black creature. So yeah, it'd just be a 5/4, and then he doesn't do anything. He'd be a 4/3 normally, so he's useless. Skeleton Withers Regenerate, so he's probably amazing. Well, he's pretty good. You just have to put a equipment on him so that he's a 4/1 Wither, because he would deal in the form of a -1/-1 counters, and then you could regenerate him, so he would never die. So Wither, Regenerate, never die, add, boost him. Sidroth Haze, their ability, discard a card, play this ability only during your turn. Well, if you regenerate him, I think your equipments go off of him, actually. Target player, but he'd be a permanent thing. So Cinderwatch, 5 mana. Target player discards a card. Play this only during my turn. Put a -1 counter on him, untap him. So you could force to put -1/-1 counters on him, so that would force your other -1 things to trigger. So maybe we shouldn't do too much. Yeah, we'll just do 1-2 episodes. We'll just do 15 episodes. And then we'll do some other things. Enchant creature gets +3 as long as it's a zombie. Otherwise, it gets -3/-3 for 5 mana. Absolutely insanely. It's not good at all, right? Enchant creature. The controller of enchanted creature sacrifices at the end of his or her turn. Okay, so you pay 2 mana to make sure he sacrifices it. So it's good for indestructible, right? Because you can't destroy those creatures. So this one's actually pretty good. Just makes him sacrifice it. So enchantment at the end of my turn, at the end of his turn. So he'd have 1 more turn with it. So maybe it's not too good, but it gets through the indestructible. Enchanted creature, yeah. Additional cost to play him. Sacrifice a creature to draw 2 cards. That's really good. Draw a card. I think, what was the other one? Did it do the same thing? Was it 2 mana to sacrifice a creature to draw 2 cards? I think it was. Zombie Cutthroat. So, morph, pay 5 life. So you could force yourself to pay life. That'd be good then, right? You pay 3 mana and then you pay 5 life and then all your life is gone. Twisted Abomination. So he was really good just because he was in the Masters 25 for drafting, I guess. Because he would never die. It's only 1 mana, right? When he's on the field, if you want to attack him, then you know he's going to block, and then he's just going to destroy your creature, and he's going to regenerate. He'll still be on the field, and he's a zombie, so they can just keep bringing the zombies back forever. Enchant creature, Dragon Shadow. Enchant creature gets +1/+0 and has fear. When enchant creature with converted mana cost 6 or more comes into play, you return this from your graveyard to play enchanting that creature. Oh, okay. So when something really ridiculous comes on, it gets, oh, my creature, okay. I may put this on him so he has fear. So it's 2 mana to cast that one. Alright, lingering at the controller of enchanted creature sacrifices it at the end of her. We've seen that one. Buzzard, when you put in the graveyards. Let's do some other colors. Let's make this the last episode. We're just looking at our red cards here. So we'll go Bloodlust, discard a Sabran. Target attacking creature gets +2/+1 till end of turn. A enchant creature you can control. Enchant creature gets +1 and has first strike. Okay, so I'd go with that blue card we have, that all enchanted creatures gain something. So you'd make a blue-red deck. So we'd have to make a blue-red deck with all these. So next episode, maybe we'll come up with the cards we created. So we'll just sort the cards and maybe make some decks. Pyromatics deals 1 damage to target creature or player. So you could replicate it, so it deals 1 damage for every 2 mana. So it doesn't seem too great. It seems like a bad card. Venture's Mage Mark, enchant creature. Creatures you control that are enchanted get +1 and have first strike. Yeah, so we read that one. That would work good with the blue one. That one, 3 damage to target creature or player for 4 mana. Hellbent. It deals 5 damage if you have no cards in hand. So if this is your only card, it would deal 5 damage, but then Lightning Bolt does 3 damage for 1 mana. Seal of Fire, 1 mana, sacrifice it, deals 2 damage to creature or player. So 2 damage for 1 mana that you could save up and cast it later. You don't have to cast it. It's a Chameth that's saved. 3 damage to target creature. Enchant creature gets +2/+0. Enchanted creature gets an additional +2/0 as long as you have no cards in your hand. So it could be like a +4/+0 for nothing. So the Hellbent ability. Multicolored creature gains double strike until end of turn. Draw a card. So that'd work good with the multicolored creatures that we have. Okay, so the Hellbent. So what are we going to do with the Hellbent ones? Kyosen Cultist attacks each turn if he can. Sacrifice him. The next time damage will be dealt to target creature this turn. Destroy that creature instead. Oh, okay, so he just destroys creatures for you, but he attacks every turn if he's able to, so next time damage will be dealt to him. Yeah, because he'd be sacrificed. You can't target him, so I'm not sure. You'd have to be attacking with other goblins. There'd have to be a huge bunch of goblins. So he attacks each turn if he... Also, the goblins... Oh, there's a red spirit. Sacrifice him. Target creature can't block this turn. Whenever you play a multicolor spell, you may return him from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, okay. So we could just keep coming back, and then target creature can't block, so it doesn't seem too useful. Cackling Flames, 3 damage. So we'll go through some green cards, and then we'll go look through these later, right? Embergale. Creatures... That player can't block this turn. 1 damage to each white and blue creature he controls. So he'd have to have a white and blue deck, and it's 4 mana. Puncturing Ball. Puncture Ball deals 1 damage to target creature. Put a -1/-1 counter on that creature. So it'd be like it deals 2 damage, kind of. So it doesn't really seem too great. You had first strike, Wither Goblin. A Goblin Warrior with a first strike and Wither. So deals damage in -1/-1 counters. So that's probably a good one. Let's do some green cards quick. Alright, we'll just look through some green cards quick, and then I'll just look through the cards all day, and then I'll see if there's any good ones, and then see if there's any decks or anything we make, or See what we have, because Spineworm, I think he's 100% useless, right? 4 or 5 mana, you could summon something with 5 mana that does an ability. Like the Carapace Forager, that would be a 4/4 in an artifact deck. So it's really good for the Commons Pauper artifact deck, right? So it'd always be a 4/4 for 2 mana. It's just crazy. And then Recluse for 4 mana, Reach, Death Touch. So these spiders, they always have a Death Touch and Reach. Well, they always have a Reach. Sometimes they have Death Touch. Whenever he attacks, he gets a +1/+1 for each turn and for each forest you control. So he could be really powerful, but then he's really weak when he's not attacking. He's just a 2/2. But then if you have like 6 forests, he'd be like a 8/8. It costs like 4 mana to bring out. Whenever another ally enters the battlefield under your control, another ally enters under your control, you may have ally creatures you control gain vigilance until end of turn. I don't know why he keeps bothering me. I mean, he's just always, put a +1 counter on target creature. Morbid, +3, +1 counters on that creature instead of if a creature died. Oh yes, the Morbid ability in these. Okay, so you get put a 3 +1/+1 counters, because it's an instant spell, right? So as soon as something dies, you just cast this, and then you put a 3 +1 counters on any creature. So it's only 1 mana, so that's actually absolutely insane. Yeah, that is really good. +3/+3, that's permanent for 1 mana. Naturalize instant, destroy target artifact or enchantment. So it's just exactly like the white spell that does the exact same thing. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has regenerate this creature. Or we could just put them through and then maybe see what they are and put them beside each other and compare everything. Shroud, this creature can't be targeted by spells or abilities, so it's a 3/1 insect for 3 mana, but it doesn't have flying or anything, so 3 mana. Sacred Wolf, 3 mana. Sacred Wolf can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponent controls, so he's a wolf that can't be targeted. Crushing Vines, choose 1. Destroy creature with flying or destroy artifact. Dryad's Favor, 1 mana. Enchant creature has Forest Walk, so it seems you only have so much room in your deck. Prevent all combat damage will be dealt this turn. If you have 5 or less life, tap all attacking creatures. Those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untap step. So prevent all damage. So that would save you, right? If they're attacking with everything, you use this. And then you attack them with everything, and then they're the ones that are dead. Llanowar Elves, 1 mana, adds 1 mana to your mana pool. And then this is spiders, so all spiders would have reach. So it's kind of like the other one. What's better? The other one, does it cost more mana or something? Shouldn't sit here looking at the spiders. Clinging Mist. This one, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. So it costs the exact same mana. I guess it has 1 more health. But that has a Death Touch on it, so Death Touch would kill everything, so you'd want this one instead, right? To get lower. So 2 mana for a 2/2 creature. So there's lots of 2/2 creatures that have an ability that have 2 health and 2 damage. Can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. He's 4 mana, so he's a cat. Hornet Sting. Hornet Sting deals 1 damage to target creature or player instant. So 1 damage isn't too much. Costs 1 mana. There's probably green better spells like the Giant Growth that gives your guy +3/+3. And then this guy, he's probably doesn't do anything, right? 4 or 5 mana just for a 5/5 beast that just comes out. And the spider, Stampeding Rhino, he's pretty useless too, right? Rhino 4/4 with a trample for 5 mana. And the Territorial Behemoth Beast. Landfall, whenever a land enters the battlefield, he gets +2/+2. So for 5 mana, he could be a 4/4, but a 6/6, but he's just a beast. Clinging Vine, so I think we did that one. Enchant creature, Primal Cocoon, 1 mana. And at the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on enchanted creature. When enchanted creature attacks or blocks, sacrifice it. Okay, so you just keep growing the creature. He just keeps getting +1/+1 until you attack or block with him, and then he stops getting +1/+1. But maybe he's stronger. Oh, with the evolve ability, right? Or something like that. Aggressive Urge, 1. Target creature gets +1 till end of turn. Draw a card. So to get creature removal, and then you can draw a card. So I think there was better creature removal, right? Villagers of Estwall, at the beginning of upkeep, if no spells were cast, transform him. So these ones, you transform them by turning them upside down. Howl Pack of Estrad. the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, Transform of X was a 4/6 werewolf. Now is a 2/3 human werewolf. So those ones the flip cards. So Death Touch, 3 mana, 2/2 Death Touch. But you could just have that snake that has Flash and Death Touch. Yeah, so he's not good. When he comes into play, draw a card, prevent all damage. Okay, Fateful Hour, Fog. So that would be like the upgraded thing of this, right? The Fog card. Oh, Cling Mist. Oh, it costs 3 mana. Yes, I'm not too sure. And then just a big worm that doesn't do anything, right? It's just a 6/4 with trample for 6 mana. And this guy doesn't do anything. It's just a 3/6 for 5 mana. Sacrifice him. Perfect. Listening Elf, Farhaven. When he comes into play, search your library for a basic land card and put it into play. If you do, shuffle your library. So this is 1/1. Sweet. So here's a whole bunch of magic cards. Went through this one. This one freezes people, right? Or Death Touch. That's what it is. 5 mana Death Touch Basilisk. Destroy any creature it touches. 3/5. So there's some magic cards. Went through a whole bunch of them. We got a whole bunch here. We got these sorted. We got a whole bunch of boxes of magic cards to go through. We got these ones. We just got a whole bunch of colors, but we got the multicolored ones we didn't look at because the multicolored ones are just amazingly crazy powerful and they're way too complicated to even comprehend by the normal players. So we have to think about those ones. Then the white, we have some more white and then red cards there. Seeing the blue cards and black cards there. Or maybe these are just uncommon cards or something. Maybe this is actually a box I was trying to sell and then I didn't end up selling it. This just looks like all bulk cards pretty much.